Say this prayer now and feel Jesus touch your heart today. There are moments in life when we feel an emptiness that is difficult to explain. It's as if, even surrounded by everything the world can offer, something essential is still missing. Have you ever felt this way? As if something cried out inside your heart, a desire to find peace, purpose, a greater meaning to your existence? If your answer is yes, I have something precious to share with you. Today, not by chance, you are here. Maybe you're looking for comfort, or maybe you didn't even know exactly what you were looking for until you read these words. But God already knew. He knows every beat of your heart, every thought, every tear you hid from others. He knows your fears, your struggles, and today, now, He wants to touch your life in a way you never imagined. But to do this, you need to take a step. A single step of faith. A simple prayer, but said sincerely, can transform everything. Because when you talk to Jesus, you are not just mouthing words, you are opening the door of your heart for Him to enter. And when Jesus enters, He brings peace, love, direction, and, above all, healing to the deepest wounds. The prayer that transforms. Close your eyes for a moment. It doesn't matter where you are now. Maybe at home, at work, or even in a busy place. The important thing is that you allow yourself to have an open mind and heart. Take a deep breath and say, Lord Jesus, I come before you with a humble heart. I recognize that I have carried burdens that I cannot bear alone. I need you, your peace, your love. Forgive me for my mistakes, for the times that I moved away from you. Today, I give you everything, my pains, my worries, my fears. Come into my life, Lord, and transform everything that needs to be transformed. I accept you as my Savior. I trust in you. You and you, I invite you to walk with me every day of my life. Feel these words flow from your heart. It doesn't matter if your voice shakes, if tears start to flow, or if your mind is still full of doubts. What matters is that Jesus listened. He is with you now, ready to fill your heart with His presence. A presence that touches and transforms. Something extraordinary happens when you open your heart to Jesus. It's like a huge weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You feel a peace that does not come from this world, a joy that does not depend on circumstances. It is the touch of Jesus. He doesn't just listen to your prayer, He acts. Perhaps, throughout your life, you have heard empty promises, have placed trust in things or people that have disappointed you. But Jesus does not disappoint. He is faithful. When you call Him, He responds. When you cry out, He stretches out His hands. When you feel alone, He is there. Miracle stories. You may be wondering, is this true? Does Jesus really care about me? I want you to know that you are not alone in this doubt. Many have already gone through this moment. I'm going to share something that happened to Anna, a young woman who was on the verge of giving up everything. Anna had lost her job, had accumulated debts, and felt that her life had no direction. One night, while crying in her room, she found a video about Jesus. Just like you, she read about the importance of praying and surrendering everything to Him. Without knowing exactly what to do, she said a simple but true prayer. That same week, things started to change. It wasn't magic. It wasn't a coincidence. But doors began to open. Someone she hadn't seen in years got in touch, offering a job opportunity. The debts began to be organized, and, more than that, Anna felt a peace she had never experienced. Today, Anna joyfully testifies that it was Jesus' touch that changed her life. And He wants to do the same for you. A call for you. I know that as you read these words, you feel something different. Maybe it's a warmth in your chest, an inexplicable emotion, or even a small voice inside you saying, it's time to trust. Don't ignore this. This is Jesus. He is touching your heart, calling you by name. Remember, He doesn't expect you to be perfect. He just wants you to come as you are, with your pains, doubts, failures, and everything else. He loves you just like that. And now, as the words of this message continue to touch your soul, the invitation remains. Say the prayer again, but this time, with everything that is within you. Don't hold anything back. Open up completely. The promise of Jesus. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11 verse 28. This promise is for you. No matter how far away you feel, He is just a prayer away. Stay with me on this journey. Jesus has much more to reveal to your heart. And when you least expect it, your life will be a living testimony to His transforming power. If you feel something special, something touching your heart, share it here. I want to know how you are and how I can continue to help you on this journey of faith. Folded hands. When Jesus touches your heart, everything changes. Have you ever stopped to imagine what happens when Jesus touches someone's life? It's not just a superficial or temporary change. It's a complete transformation, which starts from the inside out. When He enters the heart, He brings light to the darkest areas, hope to moments of despair, and strength to continue, even when everything seems lost. Jesus' touch is not like any other. He is gentle but powerful. He does not invade, He waits for you to invite Him. And when you take that step, He comes in and does things you could never imagine. Maybe you are thinking, but my situation is too complicated. I made too many mistakes. Can Jesus really help me? The answer is a great and powerful sim. He doesn't look at the size of your problems or your past mistakes. He looks at you, at your heart, and sees someone who is worth it. A God who cares about every detail. Jesus not only cares about the big issues in your life, but also the details. Those little problems that you think are not important to Him are. He knows the weight you carry in silence. He knows the thoughts that you can't even put into words. An example of this is in the Bible, when He heals a woman who had suffered for 12 years with an illness. All she did was touch the hem of His robe, and in that moment, she was healed. Why did this happen? Because Jesus saw her faith, He saw her heart. And He said, "Your faith has saved you." This shows us that it doesn't matter the size of our faith, but rather the willingness to draw closer to Him. Maybe you feel like your faith is small today, but know that Jesus can do great things with a willing heart. You are not alone. One of the biggest lies we can believe is that we are alone. That no one understands what we're going through, that no one cares. But Jesus is always by your side, even when you don't realize it. He is that faithful friend who never leaves you, even in the most difficult times. How many times have you looked up to the sky and asked, "God, why is this happening to me?" Maybe you didn't receive an immediate response, but that doesn't mean He didn't hear. Often, God is working behind the scenes in our lives, preparing something greater than we can imagine. Imagine a farmer planting a seed. He doesn't see the fruits immediately, but he knows that, with the right time, it will grow and bear fruit. So it is with God. He is planting something in your life, even now, as you read these words. Testimonials of faith. Let me share another testimony, this time from a man named John. He was facing a painful divorce, was in poor health, and felt that his life no longer had value. One night, not knowing what to do, he fell to his knees and prayed, "Jesus, if you really care about me, please show me. I can't take it alone anymore." That same week, Joao received an unexpected call from a friend he hadn't seen in years. This friend invited him to a prayer meeting. Reluctantly, Joao went. There, he felt something he had never felt before, the touch of Jesus. Today, Joao is rebuilding his life. He testifies that it wasn't easy, but that he never felt alone again. He discovered that even in his darkest moments, Jesus was with him, guiding him. And what happened to Joao can happen to you. A new beginning awaits you. Maybe you're thinking, I want to feel that touch, I want to start over, but I don't know how. The answer is simple, just give everything to him. Trust. Let go of control and allow Jesus to take over. Remember, you don't have to have all the answers or be in a perfect place in life to draw closer to Jesus. He accepts you exactly as you are. All he asks is a sincere and willing heart. So, say this prayer again, but this time, ask Jesus to show his love for you in a clear way. Tell him, Lord, I want to know you more. Show me who you are and transform my heart. I trust you. And after that, stay tuned. He can respond in ways you can't even imagine. It could be through a word you hear, a dream, or even an inexplicable peace that takes over your heart. The touch that heals, frees, and restores. The touch of Jesus heals wounds that no one else can reach. It releases invisible chains that bind us in fear, guilt, and despair. He restores dreams we thought were lost forever. If you've already felt his touch while reading this, I want you to know, this is just the beginning. He has so much more for you. It doesn't matter what the world has said about you. It doesn't matter how many times you have been rejected, hurt, or ignored. In the eyes of Jesus, you are precious, loved, and worthy of a future full of hope. And as we continue on this journey, I invite you to remain firm, to open your heart once again and to let yourself be guided by this light that never goes out. Jesus is here, now, ready to walk alongside you. Stay with me, because the journey is not over yet. Jesus has much more to do in your life, and I am here to walk with you. Folded hands. A life renewed by the power of Jesus. When you give yourself to Jesus, something inside you begins to change. It's as if a window has been opened, allowing new, vibrant light to illuminate the darkest corners of your soul. This process of renewal does not happen all at once, but day after day, step after step. Every prayer you say, every moment you dedicate to being in his presence, strengthens this transformation. You begin to notice that old wounds no longer hurt as much as they used to. Words that used to hurt seem to lose their impact. Difficulties that once seemed insurmountable are now faced with a strength you didn't even know you had. This strength comes from Jesus. He sustains you, lifts you up, and guides you. And you know what's more beautiful? He doesn't promise a life without challenges, but he promises to be with you through each one. And when you walk with him, even the hardest days have a purpose. The healing process. Have you ever tried to heal a wound yourself? Maybe at first it seems to get better, but without the right care, it could hurt again. The same is true with emotional and spiritual wounds. We often try to resolve them on our own, but only Jesus has the power to heal completely. The Bible tells us that he is the physician of physicians, and that by his stripes we are healed, Isaiah 53 verse 5. This means that Jesus has already paid the price for your healing, whether emotional, spiritual, or physical. All you have to do is trust him. But remember, healing is a process. Some pain may disappear immediately, while others take time. During this time, Jesus works in areas you didn't even know needed attention. He takes away hidden hurts, deep-rooted fears, and even thoughts that have imprisoned you for years. While this is happening, he also teaches you something very special: how to rest. Rest in the certainty that he is in control, that he takes care of every detail. A change of perspective. Along this journey with Jesus, you will begin to see life in a completely different way. What used to cause you anguish can turn into learning. Moments of solitude can become opportunities to be closer to God. You start to look at people with more compassion, to forgive more easily, because you understand how much Jesus forgave you. And something incredible happens. His love begins to overflow within you, reaching those around you. This love is powerful. It can restore relationships, rebuild dreams, and even transform lives that are lost. And it all starts with the touch of Jesus in your heart. Don't give up on your faith. Maybe you are going through a difficult season. Maybe you've been praying for something for a long time and haven't seen the result yet. I want to tell you, don't give up. Jesus is listening to every word that comes from your heart. The Bible teaches us that there is a right time for all things, Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. Sometimes God takes a while to respond because He is preparing something much greater than we asked or imagined. Other times, He wants to teach us something in the process. The important thing is not to lose faith. Keep praying, keep trusting, even when it seems difficult. Because when the time is right, you will see that every tear you shed, every moment you waited, was worth it. A future full of hope. Jesus has a wonderful plan for your life. He didn't create you to live a life without purpose, but for something much greater. He wants you to be light, to inspire other people, to spread His love wherever you go. And it doesn't matter what you've faced so far. He can turn your pain into testimony, your struggle into victory, your story into something inspiring. Remember, you are loved by a God who will never give up on you. A God who sees you not for what you were, but for what you can become. A God who has the power to do infinitely more than all we ask or think, Ephesians 3 verse 20. Today, Jesus is calling you to live this new life. He is offering you the chance to start over, to leave the past behind and move forward with Him by your side. So, accept this invitation. Keep trusting, keep praying, and allow Jesus to do something extraordinary in your life. I'm here with you to continue this journey. Let's move forward together, because the story that Jesus is writing in your life still has a lot to reveal. Folded hands. The miracle begins when you trust. Trusting in Jesus is like dropping an anchor in the middle of a storm. Even if the winds blow hard, even if the waves try to knock you down, you remain firm because you know you are anchored in something that never fails, God's love and faithfulness. Perhaps you are in the midst of this storm right now. Maybe the struggle is in your home, at work, in your health, or even in your mind. The weight of worries may be suffocating you, and doubt may be trying to steal your faith. But here's the truth, Jesus is in the boat with you. Do you remember the story where the disciples faced a storm while in the boat with Jesus? They were terrified, thinking they were going to die, but Jesus, with His divine calm, stood up and said, "Calm down. Be quiet." Mark 4 verse 39. And at the same moment, the wind and waves calmed down. This is the same authority that Jesus has over your life today. He can calm the storm within you. He can bring peace where there is confusion and safety where there is fear. But to do that, you have to trust. Small steps of faith. Trusting in Jesus doesn't have to be something big right away. Sometimes it starts with small steps. A simple "Jesus, I trust in you," it is enough for Him to start acting. Each day, you realize that you can give a little more, until finally everything that worried you before is in His hands. And you know what's beautiful? When you trust, Jesus takes care. He takes care of the big things and the little things. He takes care of your financial needs, your difficult decisions, your emotions. He guides you along paths you didn't even know existed, and always for the best. What it means to feel the touch of Jesus. Feeling the touch of Jesus is not just an emotional experience, it's something profound and transformative. It's as if something inside you is restored, as if a flame is lit in a place that has been cold for a long time. This touch is not limited by time, space, or circumstances. You can feel it right now, wherever you are. Maybe it's an inexplicable feeling of peace, a sudden relief from the weight you've been carrying, or even a new strength to face the day. Jesus touches you through prayer, through the Word, and even through the people He puts in your path. And when you allow Him to touch your heart, you are never the same. A God of second chances. If there's one thing we need to constantly remember, it's that Jesus is a God of second chances. He can't get enough of us. He doesn't give up on us, even when we fail, even when we walk away. He is always waiting with open arms to welcome us back. Have you ever felt unworthy of God's love? As if I had done things that separated Him forever? Let me tell you something, nothing can separate you from the love of God. Romans 8 verses 38 to 39. He doesn't love you for who you are or what you do, but for who He is. Jesus' love is unconditional. And when you understand this, when you accept this love, something incredible happens. The shame of the past disappears, the guilt goes away, and you begin to live with freedom. Jesus wants to be part of every area of your life. Sometimes we treat Jesus as someone we only call in emergencies, when everything is falling apart. But He doesn't want to be just a temporary solution. He wants to be part of every detail of your life. He wants to be present in your joys and your sadness. He wants to hear your simplest prayers, the ones that seem insignificant. Because for Him, nothing in your life is too small or too big. Talk to Him as if you were talking to a close friend. Say what's in your heart, without reservation. And trust that He is listening, even when silence seems like the only answer. A testimony under construction. Your life is a testimony in the making. Every prayer, every moment of faith, every experience you have with Jesus is part of a story He is writing. And this story is not just for you. She is to inspire other people. When you share how Jesus touched you, how He transformed your life, you become a beacon for those who are still in darkness. Maybe you're still in the middle of the process. Maybe things aren't completely resolved yet. But know this, even now, as you trust and wait, God is already using your life to impact others. An invitation that never ceases. Jesus is always calling you. He never stops knocking on the door of your heart, waiting for you to let Him in. And when you finally open that door, life is never the same. Today, He invites you again. It doesn't matter how many times you've accepted Him before, or how many times you've felt distant. Jesus' invitation is constant because His love for you is infinite. So say this prayer one more time. Surrender what is still weighing on your heart. And allow the touch of Jesus to continue transforming everything. There is still a lot to share. The journey with Jesus is infinite, and He has great things in store for you. Stay with me. The story is not over yet. Folded hands. What an incredible journey we have shared so far. If you have reached this point, it is because your heart has already been touched in some way. And this is not the result of chance, it's Jesus speaking to you, showing you that He has a special purpose for your life. I want to encourage you to continue on this journey, to delve deeper into God's love and the transformation that only He can bring. Make prayer a daily practice, trust Jesus in every decision, and allow Him to lead you in everything you do. Now, I want to ask you a very special favor. If this message touched your heart, be part of this mission of spreading the love of Jesus to more people. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content that can transform your life. Thumbs up, like this video to help more people find this message. Speech balloon, comment below how Jesus is touching your heart today. We want to hear your testimony. Outbox tray, share with friends and family so they can be blessed too. Bell, turn on the notification bell to receive alerts for new videos that will strengthen your faith. Movie camera, and be sure to watch one of the recommended videos above. They were made with love for you. Jesus is just beginning to write a beautiful story in your life. Thank you for being here, and remember, you are deeply loved by God. May He continue to bless you and your family abundantly. Until the next video. Folded Hands Sparkles.